everybody, welcome back to the channel. I'm TechyPlayz and we're back with more Pokemon Shield for Shiny Keldeo Pokédex completion. When we last left off, we ran into a lot of weather blocking us out from many encounters. And some that you can't just catch in the game. Still, the worry factor remains on Kubfu. I will try to get Garrett on task about getting that because he is one more willing to restart games than I. So if anyone's going to restart the Isle of Armor story and get a Kubfu again, it is him and not me. But other than that, I did bring in some Pokemon from home to help us out. If we go over to box 5, we our Pseudo-Budo has some friends now. We have a Dredagon. So if we can't find Dredagon, if that's still not a thing for weather, we got one to breed. Same thing goes with Luxray here for Luxray, not Luxray, Luxio and Shinx. And of course, I know there's some kind of thing to get Spiritomb. And I can't remember, because I do have him somewhere way down the list, I believe. Or that might be Crown Tundra, I don't know. Yeah, I think that might be Crown Tundra. I think I preemptively did that. So, yeah. Tauros, Pinsir, I believe might be Sword Pokemon. I'm not sure. All I know is I didn't see any habitats for them, so just in case. Or I don't... Did I even check for them? I don't know. I kind of just like blanketed everything. Got a Bulbasaur to get another Bulbasaur and the... I think I need the entire line. No, I just need Ivysaur and Venusaur. Okay, so I already got the Bulbasaur. It does give you a Bulbasaur. I think it gives you one of each of the Kanto starters. I just never did anything with it. So it's somewhere in home. This might be that exact one. I don't know. Check somewhere. No. That is, I believe, my gift one from Pokemon Home. Being that my, like, channel name is the original trainer. So, I think I might say it in... Oh no, it's Pokemon Go one. Yeah, I did have my name in Pokemon Go as that at one point. Okay. I should have seen the Go badge, but yeah, whatever. I also need Wartortle, but I have a Blastoise, a shiny Blastoise from my team, so I don't have to worry about that one per se. But yeah. Anyways, we've drawn on too long. We need to go get Shinx. So of course, we are going to check and see if we can just go get Shinx. See if the weather is updated. Okay, so they're all during rain or storm. And do we have any? All sunshine. Alright. You know what that means, right? That means we are breeding. Right out of the gate, we're breeding. You can't say I didn't give a chance. And the thing is, we're doing this live, so that means I can't just sit and wait for it to, or like, and I'm not changing the time and date on my Switch. Not doing that. So we're just gonna do this. Quite simple. Can be done on stream without leaving the game. It just costs us $500. But it's fine. Money is not an issue. I need two eggs. So grab one. We will grab two. Shinx and Luxio will go right there and there. Okay. So now we hatch. And we will go back to the Isle of Armor to do our hatching. For one, we're doing Isle of Armor decks, so it's fitting. And for two, I'm sick of the Hammerlock music. Like it's not bad music by any means. And I like bagpipes. I really do. It's just that one, like, it's that, and they make it louder than pretty much every other music in this game. So it's just like in your ears, blaring, and you don't want it anymore. It's like I hate to rag on it, but like I've heard it enough. I've spent plenty of time in that part of the wild area and in Hammerlock. No, not no metal. Oh, there we go. I want the swift flip. Thank you. Oh no, I clipped him. We don't need Dreadnought, do we? I don't think we do. Pokemon, gotta catch them all. That is the name of the game. I don't think we need red. So we're just gonna hit him with a Thunder Punch and not have to deal with it anymore. Alright. A dive ball on the beach, it makes sense. I forget all the kinds of things that you get from hidden items. Where is it? There it is. I used to... What did you say? The stream lagged? I said that is the name of the game. But I used to pick up literally every single item off the ground and stuff like that, and I would sell so much, and that's really where all my in-game money came from. So many, like, bones and nuggets and pearls and... Kingler? Another dive ball. Nice. So we are going to pocket the shanks. There. And then the one we hatch next will be our Luxio. Alright. And you're trying to catch them all. Yes. I mean, either catch or hatch. Right now, the game is hatch. We don't need to box that one yet. We're gonna face a Kingler and see how many levels we get off of that. Then you gotta hatch them all. Unfortunately, that can't be the name of the game because some Pokemon don't breed. Case in point, Cubfu, which I will figure out when we get to it. I have a plan. My good friend Shadow King, known as Garrett, he likes replaying games. So he can start the Isle of Armor DLC story again and get a Cubfu and then trade it to me. And he can have my Pokemon Scarlet DLC Cubfu in exchange. That way he can still have a Cubfu. Or we could just trade and trade back. I just need it for the Dex entry. I don't need to get the other form of Urshifu. Does it still count if you trade? As long as it is from a Sword or Shield game, it counts. There, the type null, I had Garrett trade me his for one that I got in GTS trading. GTS traded for one trying to get a Sword or Shield one. I ended up getting a Pokemon Sun or Moon one from Pokemon Bank. I was like, that doesn't count. But his does if we switch him. So he got a level 10 higher type null out of it, and I got the one that I needed. Oh, okay. I know if you get them from other games, it doesn't count. Yeah. So I have a Cubfu from Pokemon Scarlet doing the Blueberry quests. You do a certain amount of them or whatever, and you go talk to this guy at the entrance, and he gives you hints on where they are, and then you go and you encounter them and catch them. Many legendaries are done this way, post-game. And one of them is Kubfu. That Kubfu from Scarlet does not count toward what we're doing. But if I trade Garrett that Kubfu for a Kubfu he got from us, his sword game, that does count. And that, other than restarting the game and redoing the Isle of Armor story and moving it to home before evolving it to Urshifu, is literally the only other way I have, and I don't want to reset my progress. So, and he happily replays Pokemon games. So, power to him, Kubfu to me, please. If we did it with Type Null, we can do it with Kubfu. No more Shadow doesn't. Oh, Shinx. No. Jinx doesn't need to learn. Oh no. Doesn't need to learn things. And it's evolving. Excellent. I completely forgot its evolution level, and it was relevant because it went from 1 to 21, and it was somewhere in that range. Ah, that is rough. You could probably get, like, a used Switch Lite for cheap and try to make a deal with him to move your save data over that you need, and then you guys can just both have a Switch at some point. I don't usually recommend Switch Lites because they don't do the thing that the console was named for. So, but uh in certain cases, I would say like that would be a good alternative. So, next, oh, I almost forgot to take Jinx and Luxio off of the list. Need to. I did not prepare. Yes, hi Melmetal, how are you? Okay, the next thing is Duratagon. So we will check the Pokédex. And see, because, like, I know there's a spot that spawns in the ground tundra somewhere. Yeah, I wanted to get one, but he still hasn't finished the game. Ah. I'm guessing you guys used, cartridge, then. Yeah, it doesn't even spawn. It's in the Isle of Armor Pokédex, but it's not here. It's down here. It's in multiple spots. And it's the not sunny sun. And then that's both sunny kind of thing. I don't know them, but like, are any of the... Ho ho ho. We'll check up there first. So we gotta fly. Oop, I hit the wrong button. Alright, we are going to fly up here. Alright, so until he finishes, I'm not gonna buy one just out laying around. Okay. Yeah, alright. You see, for mostly storage sake, and kind of convenience sake, I've very much become a digital game downloader and not a game case on the shelf. Yeah. Sure, Druddigon. There he is. Okay. There's two of them. Okay. At the top of the stream, I did show that I brought one in, so if we needed to breed one, we had one. But thankfully, we were not weather locked out of this one. So we got Ultra Ball. I need to get a Pokemon with Full Swipe. There's Breloom in this game. I like the case on the shelf. It just gives a vibe. I mean, I absolutely get that. Like, and I was that way for a little bit. But it's like, it's just... It occupies space that I don't reasonably have. Oh, I forgot about Luxio still being in the party. Luxio wants to move. Yeah, no, stop trying to learn. Alright, so we will remedy the situation. Okay, and we do need, next we need Ivysaur and Venusaur, which we are going to have to breed the Bulbasaur for, which is fine. Let's put Luxio where it belongs. And Druddigon where it belongs. Then we will move over to box 5, but when we go to the nursery. Yeah, but the online purchase is way easier. Yeah. It got to the point where during my big PS4 gaming era, I'll call it, the only disc that was in the console was GTA. Everything else was downloaded, and when they finally offered GTA as a free game of the month for PS Plus members, I claimed that and then gave my disc to a buddy of mine who needed a copy of the game. So it was just so much easier because like a lot of times it's like, okay, now I gotta go to the shelf and get the disc, go to the console, actually like try to half the time I was like, I have to eject the previous disc that I was using. I just like, other than, oh, I'm just going to press the button on the icon on the screen and start playing the game. I was like, this is so much easier. And my shelf has room now. So, I mean, it's cool to have a game collection on the shelf. Like, I'm not knocking it, but it's got Black Ops 3 in disc for PS4. Yeah, that was another one that I had the disc version until they offered it. It was either PS Plus free game of the month, or it was during its anniversary sale, so it was cheap. I don't remember which one it was, but like regardless, it just was a nice deal to get on digital. So then, out with the disc. I still have a small stack of PlayStation 4 games, and they're out on this side shelf. And there's stuff in front of it, and I can't get it out without knocking everything down. So I was going to show it off, but there are things that must not fall on floor and break. So, yeah. It's kind of just like varied. It's like a handful of two. Uh, it's 12. 12 games. The thing is, I don't even play my PlayStation anymore. The only console that I touch anymore is the Switch. Like, that's it. Everything else, I have the PC version now and just play on the computer. So. Anyways, we were about to breed a Bulbasaur with a Ditto. We should probably go and do that. We are going to need 2 eggs for this. $500, I know. We have done this dance before. Many a times. And we will probably do it many a more. This is our first egg. Right. I'm not misremembering. Okay. I get that, and Switch is way easier to put somewhere than a PS4 or Xbox. I mean, I still have the PlayStation like connected to my bedroom TV. I just don't sit in there and game anymore. The option's there, and it's more or less like a Blu-ray player for any of the physical movies I still have. I've started majorly made headway on digitalizing that collection, but there's certain things that I cannot. For instance, this. I don't know how well you can see that, but like the Transformers Prime Beast Hunters movie, the actual ending of the series. I occasionally like to watch through a few of the Transformers series that I grew up watching. That one's more recent than most of the ones that I watch. But the only way I can officially end a binge watch of that series is going to that Blu-ray, because there is not any streaming service, or it's not even available on Apple for purchase on the store for the TV. So that I use the Apple TV library for my digital movies and shows and stuff. But that, like, I have the entirety of the rest of the Transformers Prime series bought on Apple, but that's not available on anything. So I literally had to go on Amazon and find a Blu-ray of it. And anytime that I do a watch through of the series, like, I end up having to boot the PlayStation up and using it as a Blu-ray player. So, go away and come back for another egg. I mostly watch anime, but have Netflix and Disney Plus. I have a Netflix through my cellular carrier. I don't use it very often, but it's included, so I have it. I actually, surprisingly, have never had a Disney Plus subscription, which is weird because I'm a big Star Wars fan, believe it or not. And that's where you go to get Star Wars content. It's just one of those things that, like, I have Max and Netflix and Apple TV Plus, and I think I recently ended my Paramount Plus. I think I still have Peacock, but I have quite a few subscription services, but none of them have that movie. And there's like a couple other movies on that shelf down here. And like, if I could digitize them, you watch Star Wars but not have Disney Plus. Yeah, I know, it makes no sense. It's just one of those things that I've never gotten to. Like, I also love Marvel movies. I know, it doesn't make sense. And everyone that I tell that to just goes complete and utter shock. It's like, you are a Star Wars fan and a Marvel fan, and you do not have the subscription service that gives you access to, like, all the things for that. Yeah, I don't. Yeah. I am a madman, yes. Okay. Oh, to pass out. Don't pass out. Most of the stuff I watch is YouTube, to be honest. And I know. I stream on Twitch and post videos on YouTube. So YouTube kind of like is integral to like my day to day. So it's kind of like expected that I watch some YouTube, but no, YouTube is pretty much the primary content consumption that I have. It's good for like news in the tech space, gaming space, and like other content creators that do what I do are also entertaining to me. Like, it also helps keep me inspired and gives me ideas. Like, I don't try to rip off other content creators, but they do tend to spark things that I want to do on my own channel from some of the stuff that they do on there. So, like, obviously the thing I'm doing right now, other content creators have done, and I've watched a little bit, a tiny bit of what they've done with it, but mostly I've been focusing on doing this myself because it's a thing that I do. Yeah, I watch anime on YouTube. I've been the anime that I've been keeping up with as of late. The only one I've really been into watching has been Dragon Ball Daima, which I haven't watched the last episode yet. It came out on Friday, but I have been busy, so I will get to it either in the next couple days or so. I've also been watching the dub as it comes out afterward. So, done with Star Wars, but I'm gonna rewatch it sometime soon. Well, the thing is, are you gonna watch all the main big movies, or are you gonna do like the full canon watch through of like going through like episode 1, episode 2, then the entirety of the Clone Wars, and then figuring out whether you want to watch the last season of Clone Wars before or after episode 3, and then watching Rebels, and then watching A New Hope, and like, it can get a whole like whole thing task. Like, I remember when Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith came out, and it was just boom, 6 movies, that's your Star Wars binge. It takes you a while, but you get through it and it's done. And now it's like, it's a whole thing. You think I'm a maniac. Look, I tried with my buddy Garrett. I'll watch it from the start. I tried to do a full canon watch through with my buddy Garrett, and we got to about Bad Batch before like we ended up like going off and like never getting back to it. So, I mean, we may get back to it at some point, but it's been a couple years, so I don't know how well that's gonna go. I swear I'll hatch these Bulbasaurs at some point during the stream. We are going to open our box. We're gonna go back to box 1 so we can put away the hatching. The hatchlings. But we are going to have to evolve both of them. One of them twice. Actually, we need to go back to the Isle of Armor. Because I once had... What is your favorite Star Wars era? I'd say it's probably a tie between the Clone Wars era and like the Rebels era. Because I do like as much as the Republic, the Galactic Republic was flawed and like there was a lot of like things. It's like, yeah, it was kind of designed that way so it would all go wrong and end up where we're at when we get to A New Hope, the original Star Wars movie. But like I also very much fell in love with the cast of Rebels, and kind of like the early Empire days did also grab my attention almost as much, if not as much, as the Clone Wars era. But I did like actually watching how the Clone Wars happened in like that era of like where the Jedi Knights and stuff like that became generals of the Republic Army and the clones and all that stuff. So the whole like inner workings and more exploration of like how the Republic and the Separatists actually functioned versus just watching the movies where it's like, oh, here's the Clone Wars begins, and then you go, and then the next movie is, this is how it ends. It's like, oh, okay, cool. Shouldn't we expound upon it? No, you wait like years. We'll get to it eventually. No, but I remember when Clone Wars was airing on Cartoon Network on the weekly, and like I was always excited for the next episode. It's just one of those things, and our TV provider when Rebels started did not have Disney XD, so I had to like find a way to catch up. And then when we finally had the access to Disney XD, thank goodness there was reruns, because otherwise I was going to be completely lost. Yeah. And one of my favorite things, I haven't heard of Disney XD in a long time, I know, but it really quickly became my favorite channel when it was around. Because not just Star Wars was on there, but like the other shows they had on there were so enjoyable as well. Like it's so much to where like I pretty much started ignoring the normal Disney Channel and just watching XD. The 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 vibe that the channel like promotional materials always gave off was that like cool skater kid kind of vibe, and the shows didn't match that. But I didn't care. I enjoyed what was what was on it. So it yeah. Bulbasaur. Rar. It tries to like act all angry and stuff, but it's just kind of, it's like a little baby. It's a baby. I got a great ball. Whee. It's so cute. That would be good. That, I think that's giving the poor thing a little too much credit, because you know. Like, people started somewhat recently saying that it retroactively the best Kanto starter. I was like, I'd still rather pick the other two. What's my favorite Pokemon? That would that would be Gengar. I am a Gengar stan. I, I, I was I unfortunately did not put myself in the position to use Gengar in Scarlet this generation, and I was kind of sad because like Gengar has been one of my go-to ghost types for the longest time, but I picked Fuecoco, and Fuecoco evolved into a fire uh, ghost type. So I was like, all type overlap. I don't, like you that. I mean, I did it for this game when I played it, but like, in Scarlet, I was like, no, I'm gonna have a proper team. It's gonna have good type spread, no overlap, and it's gonna be like good, solid. So unfortunately, that meant no Gengar. And eventually, I did replace Skeledirge with the Mightiest Mark Hisuian Typhlosion because better stats, better overall. Also, Ghost Fire type or Fire Ghost type. I should be fighting some Pokemon to level up the Bulbasaur. I kind of was just riding around for no reason. All these water types in front of me and a thunder punching Melmetal. I would say the best. That there are people who go like out of their way to be like, okay, it's great with this, this, and this, and that, and like if you look at it in this way, it's objectively better in all these different places than both Squirtle and Charmander in their lines. It's like, yeah, but it's a grass type. And you might think like, oh, don't hate on grass types. I'm hating on grass types. Like there's not, there's always for me at least there has always been a good alternative to using a grass type on my team. I don't want it to learn moves. I accidentally no. Stop trying to learn. Water and fire 10 times better in my. Yes, exactly. It's like the I can't think other than Trico. I can't think of any good, like really good grass starters. And I say Trico because like literally there is no wrong answer for Hoenn region. You pick any of the starters and they are solid. Just they're bangers. All right. You can't go wrong when picking a starter in the Hoenn game. Whether it's the original Ruby and Sapphire and Emerald or Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, like you can't go wrong. They're all good solid choices. Every other game, don't even look at the grass starter. Don't even look at it. You've already given it too much attention by the thought prop that you just had. Like it's like yeah, some of them are okay, and I like some of them have like cool setups for like an interesting strategy. But most of the time, I'm just like, no, get it out of my face. So. And that's like that's just starters. Like I will literally not put any other grass types on my team anyway. So I mostly went with water. I tend to lean more toward water starters. Fuecoco was actually the first time I picked an actual fire starter. In previous games, I would pick the water, and then like if the opportunity came around to have a fire type starter Pokemon on my team, I would also put that there. Like, Exhibit A, Charizard is on my team right now. I picked Sobble. And if Scorbunny, if Cinderace was something that like pulled me more, like I would have Cinderace as my fire type on my team. But the Charizard was better. And getting a Gigantamax Charizard was even cooler than Cinderace on a giant fireball. I'm sorry. They didn't do a great job of Gigantamax forms for the starters of the game that introduced Gigantamax form. But they did amazing with the Kanto starters. I mean, Venusaur still kind of just, a really big Venusaur with like more plant on its back, but it still looks better than Rillaboom. So, don't at me. Here we go. Charizard beats most fire types in my opinion. Charizard is like the OG like fire type, like everyone loves. It's become like a tertiary mascot or a secondary mascot of the franchise. Like almost everyone know, even non-Pokemon fans know what a Charizard is. So like you can't really downplay their infamy. And like there's just a really good and solid Pokemon in addition to that. And it was good enough to get 2 Mega Evolutions in the Mega Evolution games, and I'm looking forward to having Mega Evolutions back in the new Legends game coming out late this year. Which I haven't talked about anything that happened during Pokemon Day since Pokemon Day. This is the first Pokemon content. This is the first bit of Pokemon content that I've done since Pokemon Day happened. And that's because me and Hush Maiden and Shadow King finally got around to trying out Fast Food Simulator. So I kind of just put this here on hold. But I need to get back into Pokemon. Pokemon Day introduced 2 really big things. Like they did the first actual trailer for Pokemon Legends ZA, and it looks great. The battle mechanic is gonna get some getting used to because, like, okay, in Pokemon Legends Arceus, you got your standard Pokemon battle, but you can move around. Now they're gonna go a little more RPG style and do a little more freeform, timing your moves based on it's more anime accurate. It's like you can, it's not so much turn based as it is go and like dodge and move around. So not just you are moving, your Pokemon is moving. It can move out of the way of moves. It can do moves. The other opponent can move out of the way, which I think is really cool. It's going to take some getting used to. There's going to be a learning curve and a half for that, but it's going to be very interesting, and I still very much intend to do a playthrough on the channel of Legends EA when it comes out. They also announced Pokemon Champions, which some people are dubbing Pokemon Stadium 3, but it seems to be like it's going to be a lot more than that. Like, yeah, it's still going to kind of be that, but I feel like they're gearing this up to be like, okay, we are no longer having our competitive and casual like PvP in the current generation main game. We are having it separate with this Pokemon Champions game because it is PvP Pokemon. Straightforward, that's what it is. It is available on Switch system and mobile. So you got more people that can play it. Stadium, but better, yes. And the trailer for it showed Mega Evolution against Terastallized. So it's introducing multiple generation gimmick mechanics. So like I have no doubt that Z moves might be a thing in there, and I don't think they'll integrate Dynamax or Gigantamax because that's kind of like setting based. I know that the other ones are kind of ish setting based, but that one's very tied to location. So, yeah. Well, yeah, exactly. So I think with the release of this, they are going to move the the tournaments and like the official battle competitions and even like your casual PvP to being on this game and not being like moved to a new game every generation. It'll be like this is your new standard and this is just where it will be. It'll be standardized, everything will be streamlined, so that just helps everybody out in the long run when it's just this is where competitive, this is where PvP Pokemon is. It connects to home, so you can move your team from whatever current game over in. And that's the way you do it. With the mobile and stuff like that, I have a freaking iPad Pro M4 chip. So I've got mobile gaming powerhouse right here, and that is going to make the game run so much smoother than this freaking Switch would ever run it. Even if I got a Switch 2, like, I'm most likely going to end up getting one. But I will definitely only play Champions on my freaking iPad because A, much bigger screen, much better looking screen, and much higher performing hardware. And that's just my preference. And then with Pokemon Legends EA being once again a Legends game, so it's only going to be single player, a story mode, I think moving forward we might see a Gen 10 mainline game that the only multiplayer is the co-op. That's a bold assumption, but hear me out. If we move everything PvP to Champions, then we can have more development on quality of game, and just adding co-op as the only multiplayer for the mainline games moving forward, which would make them a lot less buggy on launch, aka, Scarlet and Violet's launch. That's still kind of buggy today, It's improved some, but not a lot. We might have solid games with single player and co-op multiplayer in the future for generational games, and then we just have Champions as the PvP, so they don't have to try to integrate that and add extra time to the development cycle. So, yeah, I may be onto something. Look, if they do that, that's brilliant. All right, like some people don't play these games for the PvP. I haven't really dove into the PvP in Shield. When I played Shield, I didn't really do a whole lot of PvP. I did co-op multiplayer with raids. With Scarlet, pretty much same thing. Like you can look on my YouTube channel. There is like a video where I battled against Shadow King and used a Stellar Terra type Mightiest Mark Mewtwo, and you can check out and see how that went, which you could probably guess how that went. So I've done PvP. I do casual PvP. Like, I like battling with friends and stuff. But that's like 5% of the time I spend on Pokemon games. So if they just separate them, be like, okay, here we establish our PvP game, and we just update it as needed, and then we can take all these resources, and every generational mainline game doesn't have to have that in it, so we can cut down on production, development resources, and focus on like the quality of what is left there to develop for the game. It makes, honestly, for a better product overall. I don't know a lot about PvP. Okay, competitive versus casual. Casual, you just need to like know your smarts and stuff like that. It's like, okay, remember all your type matchups and abilities and have a good like understanding of the status effect moves, and then you will probably dominate your friends and any like local card shop challenger. uh, and you'll be fine. Competitive, you have to know all the things, or you will be very, very sad very, very quickly. But if they separate those two things and have those audiences follow, then I think both products will benefit from it. Not to mention, like, there'll be less complaints about certain things from PvP players because, like, some people like, I don't like how Sun and Moon did PvP or something like that. It's like, I don't like how this and that the other for this game. And then, like, every generation, it's like, okay, hopefully they made it better. Oh no, they made something else I don't like. Instead, just be like, boom, it's here. You don't have to be constrained by the confines of what is and is not in this generation's game. Because, like, you have the trailer showed Mega Charizard versus Terastallized Dodonzo. So, like, I miss Mega Evolutions. Well, they're back. I want to use Terastallized Pokemon instead. Well, you got that option. Like, that's good. That alone is just gonna make a lot of people happy. I mean, there are some people who don't want the mixing of the gimmick mechanics. Like, I don't want my Terastallized Pokemon going against Mega Evolutions. Can't please everyone. But the options there are endless. I mean, if you don't want people using Megas, then, like, only play with your friends and ask them not to use Megas. Be like, can we do Terrasilize only? It's like, yeah, sure. Find find some happy mediums there. The options are there, and options are good. Like, you don't have to use all of the options if you don't like certain options. But the fact that they're making that and opening it up to mobile users as well is going to be honestly that much better. I don't think we will reach a point where any mainline story based Pokemon games are gonna move to mobile. I mean, I would love it if they did, because, like, if Nintendo's gonna keep making consoles that are on par with a previous generation of gaming device as a habit, then they're kind of fall behind. Whereas if they open it up to mobile, like, let's say something bold like Gen 10 game available on iOS and Android. First off, insane. For even assuming it would even be that quick. But I would much rather play Pokemon mainline on my phone or tablet than on a Switch. On both, yeah. I would love to do that. I don't think that they're gonna do it. Nintendo are very stingy, have been very stingy on what they do and do not, and, like, the Pokemon Company tied in with Nintendo, very stingy about what they do and do not let on other platforms. We have not gotten any. Nintendo didn't let Fortnite have rights to their characters for skins for that game because they're like, we want you to only have it on the Switch version. Don't make it available for the other platforms. It has to be exclusive. And Epic's like, no deal. So that's why Fortnite's never gotten any Nintendo skins. Need to not learn the move. Not here to learn moves. You're here to evolve and go in the box. One of you needs to go in the box now. It's after Dredigo. Yeah, okay. Ivysaur there, and then Venusaur will go in after that once we get Venusaur. So, with that point made, like, it'd be a hard ask for the Pokemon Company / Nintendo to have their mainline Pokemon game not exclusive to Nintendo hardware. Like, but then again, I never thought something like Pokemon Go would ever happen. I never thought Nintendo or the Pokemon Company would have let even that kind of experience of Pokemon happen on anything other than a Nintendo system. And with them opening up their essentially mainline PvP Pokemon game to mobile devices, that was also something I never thought would happen. Like, didn't think there would be a standardized Pokemon Switch game that is also available for mobile. Did not think that would happen. Very surprised that it is happening. It's in development right now. So is it possible that a future generation mainline Pokemon game would also be available on mobile devices? With what we've seen, it's possible, just not likely, because that's probably the last thing of Pokemon that they are holding on to with white knuckle grip. Is like, okay, yeah, we're letting Pokemon in general be on phones and tablets with Pokemon Go. And then here we are, almost 10 years later. Pokemon Go came out 9 years ago. So, and we don't know if it's a 2025 release date or if it's going to be a 2026 release date or what, because it says all we have is in development. So it could be next year, and that's a full 10 years. It's like 10 years ago, Pokemon Company finally let an actual Pokemon game of some kind happen on mobile. And then, of course, Master CX, and then now we've got Pocket, TCG Pocket or whatever. Unite, yeah. That's another one. Like, and here we are 10 years later, where what is looking to be the standard for Pokemon PvP is not just going to be restricted to Nintendo Switch and its family of consoles. And its sequel console, most likely. It's going to be on mobile too. So, mainline story, Pokemon game for mobile. It can happen, but the Pokemon Company's like, not that, anything but that. We've done so much, but just not that. Can't do that. Everything else, but not that. So, I think I think it becomes Techie. I've got to go. It's 4 a.m. and I need some sleep. Oh my, you're in a time zone where that's very drastically different from mine. It is 9:10 p.m. where I'm at. But good night, sir or ma'am or whatever. I did not mean to assume, but like, yeah. EU, yes. Okay. But Have a good night. Get some sleep. I probably won't be live for much longer because it's getting late for me. I'm a normal male. Don't worry. Okay. Look, I just wanted to cover all my bases. But yeah, I'll probably be getting to bed not too before long, anyways. What level are we at for Ivy? 28. So we are 8. But I always fucking yeah. I try. We got like 8 more levels before Venusaur. I'm also running out of Thunder Punches. I realize we're gonna end up having to go back to that cave we got the Poliwag for the Poliwhirl and Politoed, but that's also not until farther down the list. We have not made a lot of headway, but we also talked a lot about recent Pokemon news, which I did want to do during this stream. So it's not an entire waste of time. and I did at some point wanted to talk about like what I think that the Pokemon Company and Nintendo are planning for the future. And, like those are my legitimate thoughts on the matter. Because like that's the first thing that hit me is like, okay, if they're making a dedicated PvP game, then like they can just ditch that part of future mainline games. Because a lot of people just buy it, play through the story, do the DLCs, like collect, do the Pokédex, or in this case, come back and do the Pokédex through Home for a shiny, do raids. And like, yeah, it might be a little inconvenient if you and a friend just got the brand new Pokemon game, and you got a team and you want to battle. You have to move your Pokemon out of that game into Champions to have a battle. But at least like in the future, like if you have that kind of scenario, I would recommend having a separate like PvP team versus your playthrough team. That way you can just be like, oh, okay, these 6 Pokemon are going to be for my PvP team. I'll train them up really quickly and then move them into Home and move them into Champions and just have them set aside. And then get your actual playthrough team assembled and do your playthrough. Or like bring your Pokemon from older games that you've played into Champions and then like switch them out when you get ones from the new game that you want to put in there. So, I don't know. It wouldn't bother me to not be able to do what me and Garrett did with that Mewtwo PvP video that we did. If we wouldn't be able to do it in Scarlet /Violet. if we had to move it over to Champions to do it, that'd been fine. Like, I have my iPad hooked up through the same system as my Switch, so it wouldn't hurt my feelings any, and I don't think it would hurt his any to be like, okay, we gotta move all the Pokemon we want to use into this other game to battle each other. It might inconvenience some, it might upset some people, but I don't think it's gonna be missed as a feature in a mainline game, and I need to be doing more battling, because I'm once again just rattling my mouth and not playing the game as well. I'm supposed to be able to do both. It's kind of what I've been doing for years, but I ran out of Thunder Punches. But I've been doing this video game commentary thing for a long time, and yet I get so focused on one topic that I completely forget the game that I'm playing. Okay, we are going to take a detour from here because I believe if we go back to the dojo thing, I think it's a dojo. Also remember that there's like a temporary rival that we had here that you can battle like once a day. Completely forgot about him. But I believe there's a way to heal your Pokemon here so we don't have to fly over to a Pokemon Center in the mainland. Yeah, see, this person I completely forgot. This person. Yes, there we go. Okay. Oh, before I forget, we did take care of our Alakazam issue. Turns out if you move a Kadabra from Shield to Legends Arceus and use the link cable item to evolve it into an Alakazam, when you move it back into home, because I didn't even move it back to this, or I did it. I think I, hold on. As soon as I moved it to home, it counted, because it was originally a Shield Pokemon. It is now an Alakazam. So it worked that way. I think I put it back in this game after the fact that, yeah, I did. So there's our level 24 Alakazam. So we did complete that in between streams, so yes. I'm trying not to switch back and forth between games and home and stuff during the streams. It feels a little disruptive. You guys can let me know in the comments and stuff like that when this becomes a video if that's something that bothers you, because it kind of bothers me to do it. So they'll just, sometimes I'll have to do things in between. Like we did the type, I think, not the type, no. We did a few trade evolutions on stream in Shield with Garrett a few streams ago when we were still doing the main Galar decks. So I'm willing to do stuff like that, but I'm trying not to hop to the home and the home screen and then go to Pokemon Home and then go to Pokemon Legends Arceus or Scarlet or whatever and back and forth and this and that. Like, you guys came here to watch Pokemon Shield, Isle of Armor specifically for this section of what we're trying to do here. And that's what I want you guys to be watching. Yes, most of this stream has been me rambling while the same thing is just sitting on the screen. I apologize for that. I got way too into the conversation. I got way too like my opinions and thoughts and like predictions for the future. I'm kind of doing that now. I and I apologize because like I'm wanting to talk directly to you guys when I'm doing that, so like my attention slips away from the game at hand in those moments, and I apologize. I probably could have had Venusaur and been moving on to Wartortle and such. And by now, I could have already been to like Herdier or Stoutland or stuff like that. I can't do Cub Food tonight because Garrett's got to do a whole thing for me for that. So I do need to remove Ivysaur from the list, though. Because we're working on Venusaur now. And we have been for a very extended amount of time. Like, we've got a few more levels left. I think it's 36, it could be 32. Whatever it is, it's close, and we're almost there. Thunder Punch. And then I go do the complete opposite and just zone out and play nothing but the game in silence. I swear, I've done this for years, and I promised you I know how to do this properly. Granted, most of my content has been with other people involved. I don't have a whole lot of solo content. I mean, more now than years past. But usually I have other people to keep me on track, keep me on task. Otherwise, I just let my self go wild. Is it 30? It's 32. Thank God. Is that too much time on a Venusaur? Any amount of time is too much time for a Venusaur, but... Let's learn Petal Blizzard. No, I didn't mean to say yes. No. Go away. Yeah, didn't learn Petal Blizzard. That's because it belongs in a box. Yeah. Venusaur. Woo. I'll do Wartortle. Let's go. Grab our shiny Blastoise. Alright, our team. Oddly enough, I haven't started with, but I have ended up with a shiny water type on my team for like the last 3 games. Now, I didn't do pretty much any other content on Shield or uh, before now. So, yeah. So, Scarlet, I have my shiny Greninja as my water type. In Legends Arceus, currently not on my team, but like my water type that I've had on my team for the most of my time playing it has been a shiny Hisuian Samurai. So I did pick Oshawott as my starter, but I replaced it with a shiny that I got from a Pokemon Go community day. I was not gonna soft reset the game and such and such. I don't even know if the starters were shiny locked, and I wasn't even able to do it that way. Anyways, I was just like, we just had an Oshawott community day. I got a bunch of shiny Oshawotts from it. So I was like, I will move one in and I will have that as my starter, quote unquote, instead. So hey, I walked the kilometers for that shiny. I earned it. I did not the way that a lot of Pokemon players consider it earning it, but I earned it. So I did it that way, and then in Shield here I had Shiny Blast, which replaced my not shiny Inteleon. I was gonna go to the nursery because I must breed my Blastoise to get a Squirtle to get a Wartortle. And I think after we get Wartortle, I think we'll call this. I know we didn't get very many done, and that explained like that there was Pokemon Day stuff to discuss instead, and that's fine. And as a friendly reminder, everyone that like watching, my Ditto is of the Japanese language. So through the Masuda method, it is very possible that one of these hatches that I do for this Pokédex filling, completion, whatever you want to call it, may be shiny. I mean, there's always a chance that the Pokemon you hatch are shiny. That's always like, that's an ever-present thing. I'm just saying, with the Masuda method, the chances have been increased. I mean, the last time I went and tried to get a shiny with this exact Ditto, it took me 80-something times to get a shiny Applet. So, will we get a shiny out of an egg for this? We could not. But we most likely will. And I know that having a shiny parent doesn't increase the odds at all. So I'm not saying it would be this one, but the odds are there. I don't know why I'm gonna do that. I don't know why I'm doing that. Oh wait, I do know why I'm doing that. I need to go back to the Isle of Armor. I mean, I got my egg, right? I didn't just... Yeah, I have my egg. Okay. No, I needed that. I'm fumbling! I'm fumbling the game. I need to go back to the island. I know how to play games, I swear. Ooh, it's a lot more gloomy over here. Oh? What do we got over there? I can't remember, is that the beam of a Dynamax raid, or am I just imagining it? There's a Poliwhirl. Not what we ran into, but what I was looking at when I accidentally ran into this guy. We may not have to go back into the cave for him. We could just get one right here. Poliwhirl is visible on the list, so might as well, you know. Are you a real crit cap? Okay. Always questioning it now because I've had so many lives. We are gonna have to move now. Working on a Tortle right now. Whirlipees. I don't even know if that would be on the same box. So we're gonna have to. We'll move it to box 2. Cause we're definitely have to move it to box 2 because like it. Oh. Did I actually count this out or is this random? No, it's random because these two are in the wrong order. I'm not fixing it now. They can. We'll fill it in as we go. We'll get it done right. Oh wait, isn't it right after? No, there are a handful of things after the Magneton. Yeah, I'm not even gonna try to count that out right now. We'll get it done. We're not doing the thing where. Well, I'm not doing the thing where I'm moving all these to home after every stream or every other stream. I'm literally filling these boxes and we're moving all at once. And we're getting that checked off immediately. We're not doing gradual progress. We're doing full all-in-one. Done. So. Poliwhirl's put away. In probably the correct box. And then we are also going to go investigate that potentially Gigantamax raid. We probably won't do it. What's the Frisbee one? Is that a camp? Or is that just a regular? I think that might be a regular. That's a regular. Okay, you... I don't know if you're just a really powerful raid or if you're a Gigantamax raid. It's a 5-star, it's a Giga Boulder? Something along those lines. I don't think there's a Gigantamax form of that. So it doesn't look like that's Gigantamax. I think it's just like 5-star and up raid. I'm gonna need Tauros and Scyther. Thing is, do we catch them now? Yeah. Might as well catch them now. I mean, I'm working on hatching the Squirtle, so I might as well go around and do other things. Oh, I do need to remove Poliwhirl. And then we're gonna need 2 Scythers, or we're just gonna need a Scizor in the wild, which I think might be a thing in this game. I find Scyther's evolution weird, both of them, because like stat-wise, it seems that they're side grades and not upgrades. So Scyther is still just as viable as Scizor or Kleavor. But, you know, I think Scizor might be the best typing. I don't know, because I think it's still... I think Scyther's bug flying, right? And I think Scizor might be steel bug. I don't think it's still flying. I think it's steel bug. I think it keeps the bug type. I don't remember exactly. But if it does, I think that actually might be a very bad typing, because that makes it 4 times weak to fire, which is a very popular type for someone to have on their team. Some might even consider it a necessity. Okay. Marshadow wants to... I think I might swap fighting for fighting type, so keeping the same type spread that we got. So Force Palm is a power 60 and accuracy 100, where Drain Punch is a power 75. An energy draining punch, the user's HP is restored by half the damage taken by the target. Whereas this one gives a chance for paralysis. I think the 15 more power and the healing factor might be better than possibility of paralysis. So we'll take Drain Punch over Force Palm. Yeah, Force Palm. Okay. We're not teaching moves to the Pokédex entries. We are teaching moves to Marshadow. But we are, as a side, leveling Marshadow up. Just as a... It's something else to add to the experience. It's like, I'm also leveling up my Marshadow. It's fine. But, people... Okay. Scyther... It should be in box 1. But not in the spot where War Club. 4 spots after that. There. That's where Scyther is. Because we need Stoutland, Herdier, and Toro. There. And we have Tauros right here. So we will catch him and add him to the mix. Regardless of the other entries that we're getting, once we get Wartortle, I'm gonna be done. I'm gonna try to get the thing done with Cub Fu in between streams. So Hopefully we do get that done in order there. That way, be like, boom, Cub Food's done at the beginning of the next stream for this. And then we can move on to Herdier and Stoutland and all that afterward. We're going to catch Tauros. We'll take a look around while trying to hatch Squirtle. To look for a Scizor. Because something is telling me, like, there's a vague memory of seeing a wild Scizor somewhere in this game. Could be completely wrong, but I had a feeling about Melodic. I ended up being right, just wrong spot, and then it was already after I evolved the Feebas. And there was like one other instant, but I can't remember which species it was. I know that Golduck did a weird thing where like one showed up and like, oh, and then it's gone, and it did it multiple times, so I ended up just evolving a Psyduck. Okay. Right there. There's Heracross. Miltank. We have Miltank. Oop. Literally Herdier and Stoutland are next after Cub Food. Might as well catch this guy. Good idea for us to swap out Blastoise. We'll move him back to where he was, she was at the beginning of the stream. Then, but hold up. That's a Stoutland. I do need to get rid of Tauros. I'll have to get rid of Stoutland. Thought we were gonna do Herdier and Stoutland at another time, but not anymore, apparently. Apparently this was the... I was drawn over to this area by the big purple swirly beam from the Dynamax Den thing. I ended up finding most of the things that are really close on the list. And being a very productive stream after all, catch-wise. Already way more progress than I thought I was going to end up doing after all that chitty chat that I did earlier. But I do need to stop finding. So then I'll never be able to get off screen. I have a day job to get to tomorrow, and I won't survive. Yeah. Alright, Stoutland, you're getting moved over by one. Tauros, you're getting moved over to the other end here. I swear, we get the rest of this box filled. No, we can't fill this box. Because cup. Hold. Prettier goes there. Cub food would go right there. So we can't fill this box, but we could possibly get to the end of this box. Where's? Hold on. Where's Wartortle? Where's Wartortle? Before Whirlipede. Everything has to move. Not everything, but like everything after Venusaur has to move. Because I messed up. The spot for Wartortle and the spot for Cub Food became the same spot, and I... Alright. Alright. Wartortle belongs right there. And then Cub Food belongs right there. So I still can't fill box 1 before getting Wartortle. But I can still get to this point if I randomly stumble upon a Scizor, a Pinsir, not Pinsir, Pinsir, Sandygast, and Exploud. Now I know the cave that I went through to get over here has the pre-evolutions of Exploud. So I could go back in there and grab one. And then I know where actually Politoed would be there, sorry. We would get Scizor, Sandygast, Politoed is... Yeah, I know where Sandygast is, or Palisand, or whichever one it is. Whichever comes first, I know where that is. So, I can literally boom 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 the rest of this box, aside from Cub Fu, before getting Wartortle. But that is not what I want to do. I want to just get Wartortle done. Okay, we've got the Squirtle hatching. That's step 1. That Scizor should be a trade evolution with an item, which I believe I have the item. Yeah, I do have the item. I have a metal coat that I got with a Magnemite or a Magneton. I don't remember which. But yeah, I randomly caught one or the other, and it had a metal coat in its Helheim spot. So I was like, oh, I guess I don't have to worry about Scizor. Still have to trade it. Or I think you just, if I move it to Legends Arceus like I did for Alakazam, I should be able to just use a metal coat on it, and it should do it. I don't know. Like, there's no actual trade possibilities in Legends Arceus, so like trade evolutions are kind of moot. But then again, I don't know if Scizor is an option in Legends Arceus, or if Cleavor is the only option in Legends Arceus. So I don't know, and we have Ward. I mean, hasn't evolved yet. Still trying to learn a whole bunch of things it's not going to learn because I don't want it to. Look. Ah. Become a war turtle and be done. Alright? I was getting the war turtle prep for removal from the list before I actually went and did it. Yeah, I thought I saw something. Anyways, war turtle belongs there. War turtle belongs off the list, and then so we're working on. Oh, actually, hold on. Do I have any XP candy? Because then I can just knock Herdier out of the way right before enemy. I do. I have one extra large XP candy, and we're doing it. Because it's 2 instead of 1 level, but I wasn't going to try to see if I had a rare candy or not. I figured, like, yeah, I said after War Turtle we were done, but this was literally just a feed the candy and we're done. It's not like I spending a whole bunch of extra time with Ultra Balls trying to get it done. Like, it was just I give it a candy, it becomes a herdier. We're done with that. Awesome. Check. Something minimal effort, like absolute bare minimum effort. Yeah, we can tack that on after War Turtle and call it good. So that's where our box stands now. We are almost finished with the first full box, aside from Kung with I think I've explained enough how we're doing that. And then we've already got a handful that are probably gonna be like the upper part of this box. And I think we might only have 2 box worth because like you guys see Porygon Z on the screen now. That's the end of the Isle of Armor lit. So we're that close to being done with the Isle of Armor just like that. And one of these is overlapping with the Crown Tundra. So we are getting a little bit of progress done with Crown Tundra as well. So we will be doing the Crown Tundra as soon as we're done with Isle of Armor, and then once we've finished the Crown Tundra one, we have Shiny Keldeo. So I will try to find a way to show that off. I think the thing I have set up for my iPad screen, I might be able to do with my phone. It might be weird, like aspect ratio wise. It probably won't fit in the nice 16:9 box that the secondary monitor view of my iPad does, because there's no secondary screen setting for an iPhone. It'll literally just mirror the screen, so it might be like, but I don't know. I'll test. I'll fiddle around with it and see if I can get it in there. That way, I can actually like. It might be a very short video where I'm like, here we are. Here's all the Pokédex done and claiming the Shiny Keldeo, and there it is. And then that'll be it. I don't know. But we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But for now, I hope you all enjoyed. If you did, make sure to leave a like, and if you're new and haven't done so already, consider subscribing. Also consider joining the channel membership for $1 a month. You get a shout out when you do, with more perks in the works. There are links down in the description below. Some of them are Twitch links, some of them are social media. Both are worth checking out. There will be a video and a playlist on screen for you guys to continue your watching journey, here on the channel. And with all that said, I will see you guys there.